Some audio cables look more premium than others at first glance, even when the real differences inside are not immediately obvious. One of the most noticeable details is the gold-colored connector at the ends, which often gives the impression that it must improve performance in some way. That visual cue has led many people to assume it is directly tied to better sound quality or signal strength, especially when comparing cheaper and more expensive cables side by side in stores or online listings. But that assumption raises a simple question that most explanations never clearly address in detail. Why do premium audio cables have gold-plated jacks? To understand the real purpose behind it, we need to look beyond appearance and focus on what happens behind the scenes. Let's get into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. Gold plating on audio connectors is a very thin layer of metal applied over a base material such as copper or nickel. It is not responsible for carrying the audio signal in a superior way, because the main electrical conduction still happens through the underlying metal structure. The gold layer is simply there to protect the contact surface where plugs and sockets repeatedly connect and disconnect during use. Over time, these points are exposed to air, friction, and environmental factors that can degrade performance. Gold is used because it does not oxidize or tarnish easily, unlike many other metals. This helps maintain a stable connection over long periods. Its role is not to improve sound quality, but to preserve the physical and electrical integrity of the connection interface during normal usage conditions. One of the biggest advantages of gold in connectors is its strong resistance to corrosion and oxidation. Metals like copper and silver can react with oxygen, moisture, or sulfur compounds in the air, forming surface layers that reduce electrical contact quality over time. These layers increase resistance at the connection point and can gradually affect reliability. Gold behaves differently because it is chemically inert under normal environmental conditions, meaning it does not easily react or degrade. This makes it ideal for exposed contact points that must remain stable for years. While gold does not conduct electricity as well as copper or silver, its real advantage is maintaining a clean, consistent surface that ensures reliable electrical contact even in humid or changing environments over extended periods of use. A common misconception is that gold improves audio quality because it is a better conductor. But this is not correct. In fact, gold conducts electricity less efficiently than copper and silver, which are commonly used for internal wiring. However, connector performance is not determined solely by conductivity. What matters more is the stability of the physical contact between two metal surfaces. At audio frequencies, the signal flows through the entire conductor rather than only its surface, so surface conductivity differences have little practical effect. The real concern is preventing degradation at the contact point. Gold plating helps ensure that the connection remains clean and stable over time, preventing small increases in resistance caused by oxidation, but it does not enhance the actual sound quality itself in any measurable way. Another important benefit of gold plating is its ability to withstand repeated mechanical wear from plugging and unplugging cables. Each connection cycle creates microscopic friction on the contact surfaces, which gradually wears down unprotected metals. If the base material is exposed, it becomes more vulnerable to oxidation and corrosion, which can reduce long-term reliability. Gold plating acts as a protective layer that minimizes this wear and helps preserve the integrity of the contact surface. Although the gold layer is extremely thin, it is enough to provide effective protection for typical consumer use. This ensures that connectors continue to function reliably even after many cycles of usage. Despite how it is often marketed, Gold plating does not directly improve audio performance in terms of clarity, detail, or frequency response. In most audio systems, the limiting factors are the design of the equipment, shielding quality, and internal wiring rather than the connector surface itself. Once a solid electrical connection is established, the impact of the connector material becomes extremely small. At audio frequencies, current flows through the entire conductor rather than only its surface, which removes any meaningful advantage of exotic surface materials. The main function of the connector is simply to maintain a stable, low-resistance link between devices. Gold plating is often presented as a premium feature, but its real purpose is practical rather than acoustic. In real-world use, connectors face humidity, air exposure, and repeated handling, all of which can slowly reduce performance if the surface is not protected. Gold helps prevent these issues by maintaining a clean and stable contact area. However, once a connection is already reliable, further improvements in materials produce very little additional benefit. This is why professional audio systems prioritize consistent engineering rather than cosmetic upgrades. Gold plating should be understood as a durability feature that supports long-term reliability, not a technology that improves sound quality in any meaningful or audible way. Looking at gold-plated audio connectors more closely, it becomes clear that their value is often misunderstood. What initially appears to be a performance upgrade is, in reality, a design choice focused on long-term stability rather than immediate audio improvement. It highlights how easily visual cues in technology can shape assumptions about quality, even when the actual engineering purpose is much more practical. Once you understand what is happening at the connection level, the emphasis shifts away from sound enhancement and toward reliability over time. Gold plating, then, is less about changing what we hear and more about ensuring the system continues working consistently without degradation in everyday use conditions overall. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.